King Charles and Prince William both wishing Harry a happy 40th birthday yesterday. Here's our royal expert, Patricia Treble, who joins us now for the very latest. Patricia, considering the ongoing rift, just how surprising were these birthday greetings yesterday?
I hoped for them. I'm going to be honest. They are incredibly unusual. Since the King's reign, he's only done it really birthday greetings for working royals. I was hoping, because this was a big round number, right? This is Harry's 40th. And it was lovely to see. It was very short. It's just a simple post. It stopped all the speculation that, would they not acknowledge the birthday. I'm not reading any more into it. I think it was the right thing to do. I think it was the polite thing to do. But it doesn't stop the family dynamic. The family dynamic is what it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do we know how Harry's celebrating?
So we know he spent the weekend. He was out and about with friends. He and Meghan went to a friend's charity fundraiser over the weekend. And then they were apparently going to be having a nice, quiet time with friends and family. So kind of a nice way to ease into his 40s. He did, though, what was also unusual was that he talked to the media about his 40th. He talked about, a little bit about his kids, giving nothing really away. But what he did say was that while he'd been anxious about his 30s, he was excited about his 40s. So there you go. Welcome middle-aged Harry.
Yes, if Harry's 40th was anything like mine, he's still recovering this morning.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. The Hollywood Reporter publishing a piece on why, quote, Hollywood keeps quitting on Harry and Meghan. What's this story all about?
Yeah, this was not the birthday gift they wanted. So Hollywood Reporter is one of the big trade publications. And they did a big piece. They talked to 12 former and current members of the Sussex staff in California. And the top line is, and these are their quotes, that Meghan is a dictator in high heels who terrifies the staff. Harry was seen as charming but an enabler. And if this kind of sounds a little familiar, it's because in 2021, there were similar allegations against Meghan with palace staff, that she was bullying palace staff. And at the time, they had dismissed it as a calculated smear. But now you're getting very similar allegations with Hollywood people. And these are people who are very used to working with high-pressure, demanding bosses. So we now have the same thing happening in California.
Okay. Moving to William and Kate's family, where we hear Prince George is learning to fly.
Oh, this is adorable. So he's apparently obsessed with planes. He's 11 years old. He's gonna be obsessed with planes. And so just before he went back to school, they took him to a local airfield outside of Windsor. He got his first lesson. He went up with an instructor in a small plane. So mom and dad, I can imagine, watching anxiously below. He follows in a great tradition, because if he gets his pilot's license, and I think that's probably the way it's going, he will be the 5th generation Windsor, starting with his great-great-grandfather, 1919. Exactly.
How many of us have got our pilot's license before our driver's license?
That's going to be fun. And especially, I always think when you're that young and you have something you're fascinated with, I always say to parents, just go with it. Go with it. See if it might burn out. It might not. You never know which way it'll go.
All right. Finally, in a break from tradition, let's talk about King Charles, who had quite the moment with the New Zealand women's rugby team.
Oh, this was wonderful. So he's technically on holidays in Scotland, but he goes... there you go. When he's back in London doing cancer treatment, he sneaks in a few engagements because, of course, this is a man who likes to work. So what he was doing was the New Zealand rugby team, they're called the Black Ferns. He invited them to Buckingham Palace because they were going to have a big match in Britain. They unfortunately lost. They were so nervous, though. They were on their TikToks and everything. They were like, do we bow? Do we curtsy? You don't have to do anything. And then they asked him, just bluntly, can we get a hug? And I loved it because he just immediately, he's a go with the flow kind of guy, king. And he said, sure. And one said afterwards said, I think he needed it.
Sure. And as you mentioned, though, it is a refreshing break from tradition. You would never have seen his mother do that.
No, you would never. But also it is appropriate to the moment, because he's with sports stars who are very relaxed, very informal. Something informal is probably going to happen. And he's just, okay, let's go.
They put it out there and he said, sure, let's do it. All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you, Patricia.
You're welcome.
All right.